Hey, what's up, guys? Sonic here. But welcome back to the M.T.N Master Truck Nation Master Truck Challenge Series Playoff Event. The last event before the Christmas Showdown. Before we get started with the drag racing portion, let me go over a couple of things. First off, the Christmas Showdown will take place, but it will take place in another location. Tom's got to go on a road trip soon to his cousins a little after Christmas. It will not be on Christmas Day. It'll be a little bit after. It'll be filmed over there at his cousin's house. Anyways, the obstacle course racing portion is over. Congratulations for Jack Willman and Taurus. We are getting ready for the drag racing portion with the Jersey Outlaw taking on Taurus in round number 1. I'll be up in the booth with Tom and Alex will be down here in the pits interviewing the drivers and catching it up with all of you behind the scenes. See you up there you will hear my voice up there in the booth. Thank you, Sonic. I appreciate that very much. Anyways, welcome back to the M.T.N Monster Truck Nation Monster Truck Challenge Series. Series Event 7, the playoff event. If you do not know who is who, let me give you a little rundown. I know I did this before earlier in the broadcast, but if y'all didn't watch the obstacle racing portion and want to watch the drag racing portion, I'll go over it again. Gary Porter and Carolina Crusher, one of the top 8 in the points. He will bypass round 1. Then our next truck will be is the Chevrolet David Morrison, the Equalizer. Then it's Dad Evans and Destroyer, Dan Patrick and Sampson. First time we've seen this. First time a truck's been driven by a woman in this series. Pam Vodders and Boogie Van, and beside her is her husband, Michael Vodders, one of the top 8 in the points in Black Stallion. And then it's our event number 5 winner, driving a different truck, Andy Brass in Wildfoot. For another first-timer on this series, Larry Swim and Snakebite. And then it's a big veteran, but the first time we've seen him, and probably the first and only time we're probably going to see him in this series. He's planning to retire from driving Bigfoot 4 after the Winter Nationals season. Rich Hooser in Bigfoot. Then it'll be Richard Patterson in Rampage, a red Rampage. Todd Frolic doing performances in the black one as well as a barefoot truck. So there is Rampage. Then it's Scott Stephens and King Crunch. Tom Mintz, Maximum Destruction, new spiked body. That's the 2014 version. Then it's Scott Hess in Barefoot, powered by a little bit. He changed the motor on this truck recently, a 509 cubic inch. Then like I said earlier in the obstacle racing portion, Brian, remember event 4 and episode 7 8 where Little Tiger Day made his debut on the series. Yeah, guess what? Brian Bartle wrecked that truck. During a non-recorded event. A not broadcasted event, I should say. Sorry, I got the stammering problem. I'm trying to deal with it. He recently built a new truck and decided to bring it out here. Then it's Dennis Anderson out of Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, and Gravedigger. And then And then right here, first time on the series, we get to see Team Scream, Jim Kohler and Avenger, and Chris Bergeron and Brutus. Then it's Lyle Hancock and Wrenchhead in the Wrenchhead Chevrolet, a very tough season for him. And then and here's Jack Willman and Taurus. He's driving that for this event and the Christmas Showdown. Then it's first time on this series, Nick Rossi and the Jersey Outlaw, an unknown driver. We know about the NWO truck. The question is but we don't know who's behind the who's in the cockpit of that truck. It's an unknown driver. They got a spokesman for that team. We're not allowed to talk to the driver. Then it's Joe Cypher, an Airborne Ranger out of Reno, Nevada, physically handicapped. You saw him make his debut in Event 6. Then it's Andy Hoffman and Nightmare. We've seen him a couple of times this season. And last but not least, Tony Farrell and Blue Thunder, who did a phenomenal freestyle last time out. Alright, like I said, there's 24 trucks in this event. The top 8 in the Racing Points bypass round number one. But let's take a look at the first round matchups. First, it'll be Taurus, Jack Willman, up against Nick Rossi and the Jersey Outlaw. Dan Patrick and Sampson taking on Joe Cypher and Airborne Ranger. David Morris and Equalizer taking on Pam Votters and Boogie Van. This bracket's a little bit different, just a little bit different than the obstacle course portion. Then it will be Jim Kohler and Avenger going up against Little Tiger, Brian Bartle. Then it will be Richard Patterson and Rampage taking on Nightmare, Andy Hoffman. Then it's NWO up against Lyle Hancock in the Wrenchhead Chevrolet. Then it'll be a all Ford matchup. Destroyer up against the Bigfoot team's Wildfoot, driven by Andy Brass, and it'll be Tom Itz and Max D up against the Brutus truck. Okay, here we go. Round 1, Chevy versus Ford. Taurus versus the Jersey Outlaw. Taurus won the obstacle course racing portion. Let's see how he does in here in the drag racing portion. Off the start, looks like both trucks are getting a little bit of are off. Jersey Outlaw with a slight edge. Taurus misses the second set of cars. He is disqualified. Jersey Outlaw takes the victory. A great run despite the leaf springs, a great run for Nick Rossi. He needed that. Now he's got some confidence in the truck. Will only get faster from this point on. Alright, as we continue round 1 action with Sampson going up against Airborne Ranger. This should be a great race between two bow-tie Chevrolets, Sonic. I agree, Tom. Joe Cypher at this game a really, really long time. He is one of the best in this business. And off the start, Dan Patrick looks like he might have an early edge, but here comes Joe Cypher coming to the line. You call it. No, Sonic, you call it. That was a very close race. Let's see the replay. Alright, off the first set, Airborne Rangers is behind, but Joe Cypher, knowing this is a straight line course, just hammered it and beat Sampson across the line. Unbelievable. That Airborne Ranger wins his first heat, advances on to round 2. Alright, round 1 action continues now with Equalizer taking on the Boogie Van. Pam Votters, first time we saw a woman in this series. And looks like she's going to have to go home early, wait for freestyle early. Goes out early. Well, you're right, Equalizer takes the win. That wasn't even a contest. Just like I said, Boogie Van had engine problems early on. She wanted to come to the line, and she did, but it wasn't enough. Stay tuned for round number 2 coming up.